Hello, guys. This is Marisha Ray.
And Matthew Mercer.
This is a special segment of Build and Chill. We have Matthew Mercer and Marisha Ray and Valerie Morehouse.
Oh,
Yeah.
yay!
So we are going, this is my vocal coach and host of LipRoll. And
Hello, hello.
everyone should know you too. But
We have a colorful table here.
Yeah.
We
So
do.
pretty.
we're going to play with Legos and talk about Legos and nerd culture and things that we're interested in for fun. So
Yeah.
All right.
So go ahead, let's just go around and tell us. So these are Legos I assembled that we could kind of just start off talking about. And you could pick why it spoke to you or if you already know what it is or...
Yeah. Well, I picked good old Poison Ivy here, who is my favorite character or comic book character of all time. Love my
What's your favorite iteration
Anti-heroes.
of her? Because I remember her from probably like the 90s Batman cartoon.
Yeah, 90s Batman, the Hush series,
Okay,
when Jim Lee was doing her. Even like some of the later stuff with Gail Simone and doing like the Gotham City Sirens and all that stuff. That's
If
where
you were
it's
to
at.
cast her now, would you have a choice beyond you or is it...
No,
is
just
it-
me.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 You want to give Uma Thurman a second chance?
Look, it wasn't Uma's fault.
I know.
She did good with what she had to work with.
Some tree
But
you got
yeah,
there, too?
This is one of my and I found this cool tree.
It's a Harry Potter tree.
Is that what it is?
It is, yeah.
You
Oh,
can
it
it turns.
I just like,
fancy.
I always like the cool spaceships, but I was like, you know what? I want to try something Harry Potter. And the car that comes with this one is really cool.
This is sick. No.
So now when something's not finished, I'm going to go, Spencer, okay, so you're playing with your Legos
like,
again.
Spencer, can you send me this file?
Now I'm going to have this image of you in here with Legos.
It's as ridiculous as it sounds too.
this is also tapping into my druid side.
Yes.
I feel like a little
There you
Keyleth
go.
representation.
Perfect.
You know, it's good. It's good. How about you?
Well, there were many good things to choose from, but I had to go with the samurai mech.
Yes.
It appeals to my love of ridiculous things in anime, which would probably at some point have some sort of awesome samurai mech. This guy looks like he's having a fun time. It's got dual blades on the one hand over here, giant blade on this hand. That's pretty cool. It also appeals to my grew up playing Rifts where ridiculous mechs were just part of the game. But also had to look over there and see this little familiar cowboy.
Yeah.
He voices McCree.
Yeah, this is my character from Overwatch.
Nice.
Seeing him holding his pistols, getting his gun
That
and hat
is so-
ready. Not too bad. Not too bad.
Yes.
So cool. I like the samurai.
They actually go well together. The universe kind of...
Yeah, this could be like
Guns and
like
swords.
The color palette is
Yeah.
even the same.
the triplet of the Hanzo, group there just brings this full mech there, kind of trying to bring it to
I actually love Japanese anime. I spent like
Really?
six summers in Japan and just like really got into it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very cool.
That's
Heck yeah,
amazing.
I grew up on that stuff.
Did you?
Wow.
Yeah.
It's where a lot of the voice actors in our cast cut their teeth.
Started, yeah.
Dubbing. Yeah.
Everything
I had
is,
no idea that you watched... I knew
Oh,
that
yeah.
you spent time there, but I didn't know that that's what you watched.
Well, now you know.
Now I
don't
know.
watch it now.
Yeah,
but
but
I'm
you
saying
did
I
in
did
Japan.
in Japan because I
Yeah.
didn't know the language, so I just watched all this TV
Yeah.
to learn and yeah.
That's
amazing.
Anyways, that was my excuse.
So
Watch a
good.
bunch of TV.
It's a good excuse.
So
at
mine
this
is the
Shiba.
snow speeder. Just I love design and I love minimalist design and I love the color. I'm a big color palette
Is that
person.
the Star Wars?
yeah.
It is. So
Yeah.
I just think like this color palette is the best Star Wars color palette. So yeah, that's my choice.
Good
Valerie,
choice. Good
what
choice.
do you have?
You know, I didn't put a lot of thought into it. This is the first thing that I saw. And to be totally honest, I loved the color.
Okay.
It's fire.
bold
It's
red.
red.
Good
It's
reason.
bold. It's me.
Yeah.
I love the flames coming out of the back.
Yeah.
And I love the little... the doors that moved.
Yes.
And I love the idea that, I always ask my kids if you could be anything, like if you had a superpower, they always say, what would you do? What would you be? And I said, I would like to fly.
Yeah.
My dad was like, my father was a nerd. He was an aerospace engineer.
Oh,
and so I might have a little bit of that in there after
Sure.
all.
Look at
So
that.
I saw this and I was
Genetically
like,
predisposed.
this is what my dad would want. So that's why I picked it. Anyway.
Do you have flying
my story.
dreams?
I do.
fairly often?
I do.
That's-
Actually, a lot.
You really?
But
That's
I
so
also
cool.
have dreams where a tidal wave is coming over to.
I have those all the time.
I think that's just being overwhelmed.
Yes.
There's too many things going on. Where I'm
Tsunami
running
dreams.
from a tsunami.
Whoa,
Yes.
I've never
Yes.
had that before.
I
Yeah,
have
this is
them
a recurring thing.
frequently.
I have a
Wow.
recurring tsunami dream. So we're going to have to
What?
Oh,
chat
no.
and
Yeah.
figure this out.
Yes.
Because I'm all
weird.
about dreams.
It's weird that there's a phenomenon like that where like you have never met, but you have the
Right.
same recurring dream.
Yeah.
And it seems like that's just an interesting part of brain chemistry, that so many people could have a similar reoccurring dream. And I didn't used to believe in them until I realized, like, oh no, I do have reoccurring dreams. I just don't remember and see the pattern and the
Yeah.
thread. And now I see it.
Yeah.
And it's wild.
well, they all mean something.
Yeah.
They all
100%.
do mean something.
It's your
I mean,
brain working something out.
Yeah. It's like people who say their
Clearly.
teeth are falling out, which
Yeah.
I've had that happen
I've
to
had
me.
that.
I
My
used to have
mom,
that.
that's my mom's reoccurring
That's
dream.
money.
Yeah.
That's money. That's money.
Really?
Mhm.
I heard that it was an aging thing, that you're afraid
No.
of getting older.
It's definitely money. It's like being
Interesting.
worried about having too much money sometimes, like
Oh,
trying
wow.
to
Definitely
manage
not mine.
or not
I'm on the other end of
or
that.
not having enough.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there's a lack of control, and so your teeth fall out. It's about money. You know,
That would make sense, because when I used to have that dream, I was like 19 or 20, and like the way songwriters get paid is you get like BMI checks, or you get, a commercial or something. And so I would always like at 4 a.m. be like, I wonder what's in my bank account. Like, I wonder if I got something.
Yeah.
And it's like, I've learned that's a horrible way to do it, because that's the last thing you think about before you go to bed.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
if it
yeah.
doesn't come in as a songwriter, you're thinking like, when are my agents going to pay me? Like, when is this going to come through?
Right. Or
And so
worried
then
about
you go to
losing
bed
your
and your
head.
teeth fall out, you know?
Yeah.
about
So,
losing
Makes
the
sense.
money, but it's
Yeah.
about losing something, but it has to
part of
do
you.
with money.
Yeah.
So I'm big into dreams and energy and
Yeah.
intuition. That's my thing. So I like to look at that. But yeah, I don't know a lot of people that have had that
The
recurring
the
dream.
tsunami
Yeah.
one.
what
yeah.
do you think would be the connection for you with the tsunami?
I think it's exactly what Valerie
Feeling
was saying.
overwhelmed.
Yeah.
They tend to pop up
Uh-huh.
when I am feeling stressed and overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm falling behind, or
Something's
can't
after
keep
you.
up.
Yeah.
Yes.
My version of that is going to Spanish class and not knowing that there was a test that day.
Oh.
That's my constant reoccurring dream, because when I was a senior, I was allowed to miss a period. Like, I didn't have like first period. And so I would show up late to second period because I would take advantage of that.
Right.
And I literally felt like I didn't know what was going on. And so that's carried on. Even though I graduated college, my brain now, I think, takes things in like this world and is like, oh, you forgot to send that file, or you forgot to do this. So in a way, it's like the same thing.
I think the
I'm remembering
longer
for the test.
you go with those dreams, like I have a reoccurring dream about being back in school. I'm like, I did 16 years. I got my BA and my BFA. I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't want to go back. I don't need my master's. I'm good.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, but that same
And it's
idea.
like, why does it still recur if I've
Yeah.
made it through? But I think what it is it's things like today that are just manifesting themselves in that memory,
Yeah.
maybe.
Our brains are phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal things.
It's crazy. It's
Yes.
Weird place to be.
I
So
love.
Let's dive into another element of this is.
But continue to build.
Yeah,
'cause I'm
continue to build, 'cause
fascinated.
we're
I
gonna-
feel
I'm
like
excited
I
to see
should be
what you
building
build.
a Lego, but I'm like, I don't know what to do with
Yeah.
this.
So let's talk about
Lego
music
down.
for a second, because usually what I do is I have people also pick vinyl. But like, if we were to pick vinyl, what would be like your guys' records? It could be today or just timeless.
This is an excellent question, because I've recently gotten very into vinyl. It was your Christmas present
Yeah.
last year.
It's a great
that
Christmas present.
Your bowling ball?
It might be a bowling ball gift.
Bowling ball. Bowling rocks.
Yeah. So yeah, I got him a record player that I have adopted as my own.
Yes.
And I've gotten really into collecting video game soundtracks on vinyl.
Nice.
That's
Which ones do you
my-
have so far that you've been?
We have Skyrim.
Ooh,
We
I'm a
have
huge Elder Scrolls
Persona
fan.
5.
Yes, Persona 5, which is an
Okay.
incredible collection. The Cuphead collection, which I can listen to like one side of one of those vinyls before it starts stressing me out about as much as the game.
Yep, that's true. Checks out.
It's like just this crazy high tempo jazz and swing, and then after like 30 minutes of high tempo jazz and swing, you're like, I'm losing my mind. What other games? Oh, and I just got a lot of the Final Fantasy Distant World
like orchestrated
vinyls.
Final Fantasy soundtrack pieces,
Yeah.
which are great.
One of my favorite movie soundtracks, we were all talking about it earlier on another day, was, I don't know, did you guys ever play Medal of Honor for PlayStation?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
World War II one, but it's not like the PlayStation 2 one.
Best
No.
Medal of Honor.
Yeah, but it's like
Yeah.
Michael I always forget how to, Giacchino? He does the soundtrack for that.
Yeah.
And it's like
Well, that-
amazing.
Well, that
Incredible.
was Spielberg was involved
Yeah,
in the production
exactly.
of that one.
Yeah.
That was a great game.
And as a kid,
It was
I
a
just
great game.
remember playing that game and being so immersed because of the music.
Yeah,
And I thought
straight up.
like it felt, I don't know, it's like it felt fun, but it also felt very serious and very moody for a video game at that time.
100%. Yeah.
The thing about that game that I remember most was there was a code where you could unlock the ability to play as Winston Churchill.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
That's
And you run
right.
around as this little squat Winston Churchill, and whenever he got shot and killed, he had this violin. It's like,
That was not my finest hour.
yeah, I thought it was so cheesy, but I remember it to this day.
I love that game. Are there any other games that you guys would, or actually I didn't hear your vinyl response if you had one.
Man, I would probably say Soft Bulletin by the Flaming Lips.
Oh, nice.
That's an album that just really speaks to me through the years. Dark Side of the Moon sounds
Yes.
hackneyed, but
No,
that's
it's
such a
great.
classic.
Yeah.
Man, there's a bunch. It's hard to like to pick. I would say, it would never. I don't think it ever went to vinyl, but just to feed my deep-seated love of avant-garde, messed up music.
Mr. Bungle.
California, Mr. Bungle, probably.
And what's that? I don't know if I've heard of that.
Mr. Bungle was an relatively obscure band started by Mike Patton when he was in high school, of Faith No More fame.
Oh, yeah.
Phantom Oz.
Yeah.
Lovitch. It was his like first band, and part of his.
Oh, my uncle has told me about Mr. Bungle, actually.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite musical projects, and they only put out 3 albums before they dispersed. And I didn't get into them until after that, so I never got to see them live, which kills me. But if there was ever a vinyl option for really any of the albums, but specifically the third one, California, I'd buy it in a second.
Amazing. Daughter, do you have one?
Oh gosh.
You're around music. Music is your job, so.
I know, but it's the worst question. It's the hardest question because there are so
Yeah.
many. I mean, they had to bring him back to vinyl.
Yeah,
There's-
I mean, any record that like either you're playing right now or is timeless for you.
I mean, I'm always going back to singers, not just albums and bands, but just
Sure.
voices for me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a huge Sting fan.
Yeah.
I love the Police. I love that sound. Grew up on a lot of different influences. Like I said, I grew up in England in the 70s. And so my brother was really into the Beatles and Boomtown Rats, like Bob Geldof's stuff, the Sex Pistols. And then I went the other way. I liked R&B. So I was listening to this guy named Boney M, who was like the British version of sort of a Michael Jackson, if you will, at the time, but a lot of R&B, a lot of Stevie Wonder.
Did you ever get exposed to Cliff Richard?
Loved Cliff Richard.
I discovered him
Yeah.
through all his like 60s films, and I was
Yeah.
like, this guy has an amazing voice, and
Yeah.
I've never heard of him in the States until I heard of all the acting he had done with like Young Ones and all this other stuff.
Yeah, Young
and
Ones
his
is-
voice is one of my favorite voices.
It's a really funny show. I mean, the Brits know comedy. There's
Okay.
another one you guys would love if you've heard of Faulty Towers.
Oh, I love Faulty Towers.
Oh.
Yeah, it was some of John Cleese's best work.
Grew up on all of that stuff. So, you know, just I don't know, classic good music. And you guys know I'm a huge Tears for Fears fan. So, yeah, I mean that would be it. It's those classic. I love those classic late 70s, early 80s bands that were just changed the scene. I think
Yeah.
a little bit for like pop music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say is your top karaoke song?
Ooh. I always go to, I have a few, but probably Crazy Little Thing Called Love
Oh,
Ooh,
by
yes.
Queen.
Amazing.
Little Fred.
Go low. I know. Can't handle it. Listen.
Yeah.
Go low. We're gonna do
Little
another
jazzy.
one.
Always like me. I don't remember
Ready,
my lyrics, and I
Freddie.
don't remember other people's
I don't know. I'm
lyrics.
just
That's why karaoke is great.
we're having our own version of karaoke here right now.
Exactly.
Didn't we do that with Nico and Vince?
Yeah,
We just started
and whenever
singing.
I joke sing a song like around Mo, like I always just try to go with the lyric that I think it is because it's always
Yeah.
funnier, and it never makes sense.
That's
we
amazing.
did that with another of our guests where we had to figure out the ends of the lyrics, and Ella would just read the lyric, and it was making me crazy because I wanted to win so bad.
A little competitive streak in there.
A little
Yeah.
bit, just
Respect
a
that.
small, yeah.
So a crazy little thing called love. And what was yours, man?
My go-to, just because I don't know, for me, karaoke is also something you want to involve, like the energy of the folks in the room. And with the right crew, I'd probably go with Tenacious D, Wonder Boy,
Nice,
which is just a dynamic, ridiculous, wonderful piece.
amazing. What about you,
I
Valerie?
love that. I don't do karaoke.
You're probably like me, where you're like, I value singing and getting it right too much.
I'm not a trained monkey. I'm not here for your enjoyment. I'm not just gonna get up and sing you a song. You have to pay for this shit. I actually really
I
don't
feel like
do
you've
karaoke.
never, not even in Japan or anything, because you do
I'll
have
do it
that
in
side
Japan.
of you.
I'll do it in Japan. I won't do it in the U.S.
What would be the song in Japan?
That's amazing.
sound like such an asshole? Oh God. I would go for something actually really serious, probably not jokey. Most
Yeah.
people would do something jokey.
Yeah.
But I love a little Nora Jones, Come Away With Me.
Oh, okay. Good choice.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So I would just do something more spoken and light, not like a big. I'm not going to sing Whitney Houston or
Yeah.
Rick Franklin.
Sure.
I'd be
Yeah.
caught dead doing that anyway. But
Yeah.
I would do something chill like that,
Yeah.
like singer-songwriter.
Oh,
I love
it's amazing.
cheesy stuff, so I would probably choose like Tom Jones, Help Yourself, or something like that.
yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's
Not,
the thing.
I
what's
actually
up,
love-
pussycat?
I love his
Whoa.
voice. I just think like, I don't know, I feel like people don't understand. And it's cool because he did a new record with Jack White where they took it seriously and like did really cool stuff with his voice. But I just
Yeah.
always thought he had like
He had
cool
that
melodies.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
He had that
Heck
cool
yeah.
thing going on. Yeah.
So you get,
That's fun.
karaoke is one of the opportunities too, where like you can do the really good pop songs that everyone knows, or you get to do like the more classic, cheesier songs, as far as like what
Right.
modern folks would consider that you grew up on. Like me, I'd bust out some Moody Blues in a second.
Oh,
Like,
nice.
You know, I grew up on that. My father raised me on that.
I was
Do you
giving.
play? Do either of
Yeah.
you play an instrument?
No.
Oh, we don't play. We're not instrument people. Although, yeah, you're.
My family around
Your
me.
family.
My father and my brother are both musicians, like
Yes.
through and through, and I just
Yeah.
missed the instrument train.
His dad is a incredible ukulele player and
Wow.
guitar
Yeah,
player.
later in life, he found the ukulele when they moved to Hawaii.
I
and
was
Yeah.
I was
great
gonna
at it.
say, with all the time that you guys spend doing Dungeons and Dragons, think about how amazing you would be if you
Apply
did
ourselves.
another 4
Another
hours
thing.
on guitar. I
I
don't
know.
know, but
I know. Well,
they're like, don't tell us that, damn it.
Too many things.
there's too many things I want to
Maybe.
do.
Too many
Isn't that the
things.
problem though? There's no time.
There's no time.
I know.
And I feel like once you get creative, you can unlock a lot of creativity. So it's like there is a lot of options to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
straight up.
We're getting the cue to wrap up. I think hopefully we have one more segment of quick questions, and I
Yeah.
think we're out. But show us your
Yes.
final
Awesome.
designs.
Oh goodness.
What you got?
I was trying to go for this whole poison ivy and her attack dog that she never had, but she
Yes.
has now. And it's a Shiba. Look how cute he is.
That's
Hang on.
that's
Maybe I
adorable.
can
You win
get
just
him.
for the dog.
And she blasted a hole in this wall, and now he's.
I
there
love the
we go.
implied action of the design. Like that's something I
really
never
great.
think to do. Is like you implied that.
Yes.
There
Get
was
off.
a-
You built a
It's your
seed.
husky.
boy.
Is that your husky?
Oh yeah, I have a husky.
He has
He's
a
sleeping
beautiful
right now,
husky.
but
Oh, my
it
God.
totally is him. Yeah,
What's his name?
Johnny after Johnny
Johnny.
Depp.
He's super cute,
Jon
but he
Snow.
always looks mad and
Yeah,
angry.
we got him because he looked like a good looking '90s villain.
Yeah.
So it's like-
Totally.
Amazing.
So he's really expressive. He could look really doofy or like just really intense. And we just always tell people like he's always in a good mood, but like that's just
He's
his
just got that
face.
look.
You know, like
I dig it.
the opposite of Johnny Depp.
yeah.
Yeah.
So break down your design, Matt.
My design is after spending many games frustrated that nobody's staying on the goddamn payload. McCree built his own little hover ship to go ahead and just carry it to base so he doesn't have to wait for anybody else to follow. So, for all you guys out there who don't know how to stay on the payload, I don't need you anymore.
Yes. I love the design. I love the color palette.
Did you do one?
No, I've learned not to do it while I build because someone needs to like talk.
Yeah, I started and then I lost track, so I don't
love
even know what that is.
It's minimalist. It's abstract. It belongs in a museum.
That's all I got. I'm not even sure what that is. But
was there a goal?
it's a stairway to heaven. I don't know.
See, Valerie, if you spent 4 more hours a day on your Legos, you would have
Touché, my friend. Touché.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on Build and
you
Chill.
guys.
Thank you for having
It's been
me.
a blast.
Thanks for coming. This has been really fun.
You're not gonna get rid of us. I'm just gonna.
Yes.
Keep building for the next
Keep
hour.
building Legos.
Well, we'll see you guys later.
Yeah.
Adios.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right.